Today on Real Life and Real Estate, what action should you take on your business plan today? Welcome to Real Life and Real Estate. I'm Mark Peebles, here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. I'm so glad that you have joined us today. This is week 2 of your 2025 business plan. Last week, we talked about the how in terms of how to build a business plan. I'm not going to rehash all of it, but I'm going to tell you need to go back and listen to kind of the structure we talked about last week. Now, this week, what I do want to get into are the actions that you need to take, whether it's in your business plan or in your personal life, just some things that you can be calendaring, things that you can actually put on your calendar and take action in to see real change in your life and in your business over the next year. And then I want to get a little bit more in depth with the business part of this to give you some ideas there. Before I get too far into this, though, do you know what will make your life better? I think you do. It's a home warranty from Advantage Home Warranty. I'll tell you what, it has made my life better because truly, when we have something go wrong at the house mechanically, plumbing, electric, HVAC, appliances, we don't have to worry about who we're going to call. We make one call to Advantage Home Warranty, a local family-owned company here in Ohio, and they take care of the rest. Whether it needs to be fixed or replaced, they're always there to help, and we've been incredibly happy with our Advantage Home Warranty. So learn more about Advantage Home Warranty at AdvantageHW.com. That's AdvantageHW.com. All right, now let's get into this. What actions should you be taking in order to be successful in your 2025 business plan? So here's what I want to get into first. Last week, I said the first thing that you do in setting up your business plan is you're going to look at areas of your life and say, how do I need to be different 1 year from now? So I want to talk about a couple of these areas of your life and things that you could be calendaring that I believe would truly make a difference in each area of your life, okay? Why am I not just focused on business? Because let's face it, we're all in business so that we can live better lives. And that's my heart here. I want you to help you live a well-rounded whole life. If all you're worried about is business, you're not worried about the right things. And so let's get focused on the right things. So let's just say that you want to improve your life spiritually over the next year. What can I be doing? What can I calendar to improve or change my life spiritually? So here's one thing, 30 minutes of reading a day. I read the Bible almost every day. I'm not going to say I'm perfect and read it every day, but I try to read the Bible a little bit every single day. I use a reading plan for that. So that's something that there's a Bible app that's great where you can get all kinds of reading plans out of it. And if you want to get a little more in depth or you're reading something you're not sure what it means, I love Blue Letter Bible. That's one of my favorite apps where you can get great commentary. There's a guy named David Guzik. You can get great commentary from him and learn more and get more in depth and more into a study of the Bible. But let me tell you, you want to improve your life spiritually? Spend about 30 minutes a day reading, or in a quiet time, just go to a quiet place. Sit in silence and pray. Sometimes that's what you need to refresh your spirit, to refresh your life spiritually. You need to stop, be quiet, and pray and reflect. The other thing you can do to grow spiritually is get around another group of people that are also on the same spiritual journey that you're on, and you can help, we say edify each other. You can help encourage each other, that you, as the Bible says, spur each other on to love and good works. I've got a group of guys, in fact, Natalie's husband, Joey, he's in the group. Right?
In the group, yeah.
So there's 5 of us. We meet every Wednesday.
We do.
And we have a Bible reading plan that we all go through. We hold each other accountable to it. Mm-hmm. And then we get together and we encourage each other.
Well, I like that you guys do it early in the morning. That's honestly really smart. Like, I was thinking, how can I do this with like my group of friends or my group of people? And early in the morning doesn't work necessarily for my group of people. But it's really awesome. He comes home refreshed, ready to go, excited, talks to me about all the things that you guys talked about. just excited. So I think
Yeah,
it's
and
awesome.
spiritually it refreshes me, and I know the guys in our group it does too. So
Oh yeah.
here's the thing: every single one of these can be calendared, right? If you're going to do some reading or you're going to have some time that you're just going to be quiet. I've got a buddy, he works for a Fortune 50 company, and he says that he has his assistant will basically block 30 minutes, like right before, right after lunch, where he closes his office door. No one has access to him, and he just sits quiet. And he does that every day to keep himself spiritually refreshed. What do you need to do to spiritually refresh? It goes on your calendar. What about your health? If you want to get your health in order, what are some things that need to go on your calendar? I talked a little bit about how every 4 days a week I meet John Hennon, our chief stewardship officer, at the gym. That is on my calendar. So you can put your exercise on your calendar. Now, if you are like I've talked about in the past, chasing a dream of going on a big trip, a big hike where you've got to be in a certain shape, you might even make it so specific that when you calendar your exercise for Friday morning, that one is going to be, 30 minutes on the elliptical and 30 minutes of upper body weight training. Or what I used to do when I was preparing to go to the Grand Canyon, I would walk up and down the steps at the YMCA from the first floor to the track up above, which sounds crazy, but when you're training for the Grand Canyon, you've got to go down as much as you go up. So I would walk up and down those steps hundreds of times. The last time I did it was 330 times up and down those steps in, one session. Took me about 4 hours with a backpack on with weight in it, right? So it was very specific. I actually put it in my calendar that way and had it in my scoreboard that way so that I could track it. So exercise, you can be very specific with it, or you can just be general. This is the time that you're going to be going to the gym. Another thing, schedule time every day to food journal. It's probably best to do that at the end of the day where it's fresh. Some people I know will food journal throughout the day, but I find that if I want to be most successful in tracking what I'm eating and really hold myself accountable, because sometimes if I know I'm going to have to be honest about putting that cookie, or in my case, like 7 cookies, into my food journal and see how many calories that really is that I just ate, I won't eat them, right? But I would schedule time every single day to food journal. Put in your calendar. The other thing too is gamify your health. So schedule blood testing, right? Maybe you schedule quarterly blood testing where you are going to, take certain numbers that you're really working on, and then over the next quarter, through exercise, through diet, maybe through supplements, you're going to be working to get those numbers down. So you're going to go ahead, take the blood test now, see the results, schedule the next one for next quarter, right? But that goes on your calendar, okay? So that's your health. Marriage. You want to make your marriage better? Spend more time together. Schedule that time. So one of the big things is date nights, right? Now, I've got a buddy. I love him tremendously. And what I love about him is that he literally schedules a special date every week with his wife, and they go do crazy stuff together, like go to rodeos and or go to a show in Cincinnati. Like, he's at a place where he can do that, and he does something special every week, and he is the one that plans it. So the cool thing about that, though, is that they do schedule that. It's in his calendar every single week, and it's become something very important to him. You want to work on your marriage, man. A date night goes a long way for working on your marriage. Maybe you need to schedule counseling. For some of you, you're like, counseling, that's a bad word. Only weak people go to counseling. Let me tell you, counseling changed my life. I had an amazing counselor, changed my life, changed my marriage. And we scheduled that. And let me tell you, it was the worst several months of our entire marriage, because counseling does suck sometimes. It pulls up a lot of crap. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, your life and your marriage will be better because you fought for it by going to a good counselor and go through that painful process. But it needs to go on your calendar. The other things, getaways. Getaways are so important. There's an organization, they do a weekend to remember, and it travels around city to city almost every single weekend. Maybe a good getaway would be go to a weekend to remember with your spouse. It's a marriage-focused weekend, and it is kind of amazing. It comes to the area that I'm in, Dayton, Cincinnati. It comes to Cincinnati a couple of times a year. But maybe you need to do that. Maybe you guys just need a weekend away in the Smokies, or you need to go do something fun for the weekend, or go on a little hiking trip or backpacking trip, or whatever the case is. You just need to get away together. Trust me, that time in the car, the time together is going to do a lot for your marriage. Oh, and by the way, it can all go on your calendar. So put it in your calendar and make it an important part of what you do every day. Your marriage is really, your relationship with God and then your marriage are the two most important things in your life. And then it's followed by your family. You want to improve your family relationships? Here's some things you can do. And these are all very simple things. You've heard them before. But do a father-daughter or a mother-son date night, okay? Go out and spend time with your daughters. Men, husbands, fathers, spend time with your daughters. Because if you want them to grow up and marry good men, they need to see what a good man treats them like, okay? And so you can do that. Mom, spend time with your sons. They need you. They need time outside of just mothering at home. They need to go out and have fun with you and be engaged with you. And so I'm a big fan of father-daughter and mother-son date nights. But then there's also the father-son or the mother-daughter outings, My son and I never go shopping together. But my wife takes my daughter shopping, and they love it together. Me and my son have done a lot of adventuring together. In fact, he just texted me the other day, and he said, Dad, I think we need to schedule our next backpacking trip. After the last backpacking trip, Natalie, I was like, we went to...
Wait a second.
we went to Colorado, and we backpacked part of the Colorado Trail, and the elevations were like over 12,000 feet, and let me tell you, that altitude beat me to death. Now, it was so hard.
I think I know what you need to do.
What's that?
You need to go to Machu Picchu in Peru.
Yeah,
that's Joey's dream.
That is actually one of my dreams. That's on my bucket list, is to get to Machu Picchu. In fact, our good friend Rob, that he just took his son. We've got a good friend that just got back from Machu Picchu on a father-son trip.
That's cool.
And so sons need adventure. And I love adventuring with my son. I talked last time about being 6'7" and a little overweight. And these trips are very hard on a 45-year-old body, but it's worth it for the conversations and the connection with my son.
Absolutely. I can see this being something Joey would love to do with our boys one day.
Yeah, he's going to. He absolutely will.
He's going to have
and
to.
Guess what? He'll have to figure out how to get in shape for it like I have. So, no, but it is awesome. You need to do father-son outings, mother-daughter outings. Those are so important. Trips together. I love our family vacations, and we had an amazing family vacation this year. And just what is so cool about starting to have adult kids. 2 of my kids are out of the house now, or at least in the college years, and then I've got one at home. We laughed so much. We had so much fun together and just built such a connection, such amazing memories. I've heard so many people say, and early in my lifetime, people were like, no one cares about the gifts you get them in the end. What they care about is the memories that you make. And let me tell you, the memories that we've made as a family over the past few years have been unbelievable. And we've done that through some incredible trips. Dinner around the table. One of the things I absolutely value so much about my wife, Elizabeth, is she has been committed to ensuring that we have dinner around the table most nights. We don't get to every night, but for the most part, even though there's 3 of us in the house now, she makes dinner and we have dinner around the table together almost every single night. And those dinners, I believe, are a big reason or a big influence on the way that our kids have turned out. That we have great kids, and we've been very, very blessed. And I believe a lot of that with our connection, our relationship with our kids is just as simple as having family dinners. So let me tell you this. In real estate, we're busy. People get off work and they want to go see houses, right? And maybe you can't do dinner around the table every single night, especially in busy seasons. Listen, I've been a high producing agent for years. I totally get that. But you know what? You can schedule it. And when you schedule it and someone says, I have to see this house Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you can be like, oh, I've got an appointment. Is there any way we could go at 4:45? Or is there any way that we could go at 5 o'clock, knowing that you're going to make family dinner a priority? It's an appointment, just like date night's an appointment, just like all of these things that I'm talking about are appointments. They're more important than anything you're ever going to do in business. No one ever gets to the end of their life and wishes they sold one more house or made more money. They always look back and they wish they'd spent more time with the ones they love. So these are the things that are really, truly important. And guess what? All of these can go on the calendar. All right? Finances, budgeting. You can put budgeting on your calendar. Or you having a monthly budget meeting. Now, I'm a bit of a hypocrite right now because we haven't had a budgeting meeting in a long time. We probably need to, right? We're getting ready to go into winter. We probably need to sit down. We need to have a budgeting meeting and talk through our finances, right? But guess what? It's something that's going to have to go on the calendar or we'll never do it. So that is something you need to do. And I would encourage you, when you budget, okay, you need to be meeting regularly on your budget. You can't just meet once a month on your budget. You need to be talking about it weekly so that when you do make the comment, it's just not in the budget, that you're in agreement because you both looked at the finances this week, okay? I'm talking if you're married, right? Debt reduction. That's something that, if you're going to make debt reduction, you need to plan that out and calendar when you're making certain payments and how much you're planning to make on those payments. Guess what? That's part of the budgeting process, but I think debt reduction, if that's a priority for you, there's extra things that you calendar, which could include side hustles. You might need to side hustle a little bit to get an extra winter job. I just talked to an agent yesterday that's going to hopefully, or they're thinking about working for Apple over the winter just to pick up some extra money because they're hiring seasonal help. Well, she's going to make that extra money that can be applied to Christmas or to some of the extra expenses that you have during the holiday seasons, or to debt reduction. And so that's something that you would have to calendar. And then when it comes to your finances, the best way to improve finances is also to grow your business. And there's so much that you can calendar around growing your business. And I will go into that here in just a second. Some of my thoughts on that. Educational. If you want to calendar some things to grow yourself personally, and, just in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is how I like to put it. I think I heard it best. That's from the Bible. Okay, so are you doing monthly training that is in your calendar or continuing education classes? Are you going to conferences or conventions? Those are 2 or 3 day commitments. I'm going to the Ohio Broker Convention in just a couple of weeks. Those are a little bit longer. I'm also going to South Dakota in 2 weeks. If you're out in South Dakota listening to this, in 2 weeks, I'll be in South Dakota teaching classes. So you definitely need to be in my classes while you're out there. Are you reading books or listening to books? I say listening because I don't get to read a lot of books, but I do listen to a lot of books. And so what are you going to read or listen? And then do you have time that you listen to podcasts? Honestly, when I'm getting ready in the morning, that's my podcast time. So I have specific podcasts that I work through that are growing me in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and making me not just a better person, but better in business, better overall in life. So maybe you're listening to this podcast while you're getting ready. Great. That's a great time to schedule your podcast time or on your drive time. A lot of times I get in the car, I start making calls. That's a lot of call time for me. But all of these things educationally, guess what? They can be put on your calendar. Are you picking up a trend here? You want to improve your life? You can put it on your calendar. Okay, there's so many things that you can do that you can calendar to make your life better. So let's talk about your business. You want to make your business better. I believe you got to make everything personally better first. That's always got to be your first priority. But business, it also impacts us personally. More money it does impact us personally. Improving your business, it does impact your personal life as well. So the first thing, I can give you a million things to calendar. But let me ask you this before I get there. Who are you actually targeting? Who are you actually talking to? Because I can tell you to write handwritten notes. I can tell you to text people. I can tell you to make phone calls. But here's the thing. If you don't know who you're targeting, then you can calendar all you want, but you're wasting your time because there's nothing systematic about it. I have whittled down my list. I have really gotten my list compacted. About 1,000 people that I'm in continual conversations or communication with throughout the year, mostly past clients or referral sources, and some people in my sphere of influence. If you don't have as many past clients as I have or referral sources, well, guess what? You can build that list by simply starting with people that you know and that know you and begin a relationship and a communication that not fully revolves around business, but reminds them of the business that you are in. So after you know who you are reaching, okay, because that's most important before you put anything in the calendar, how are you going to reach them? All right, so there's many ways in this business that we can reach people. Now, what I'm going to tell you is you can't just focus on one of them. You can't be an only call person in today's world. People don't like calls sometimes, so you got to text. Some people like email, right? But I believe that calls and texts are great. Email is a supplement to your calls and texts. Social media. Some people make their careers on social media. They do phenomenally on social media. I don't, but guess what? It's a supplement to my calls, my texts, and my emails. Events. I love doing events. I'm getting ready to do Movies with Santa. It's my big Christmas event that I do every year. I've been doing it for 8 years. This is my 8th year doing it now. And so with Movies with Santa, I send out a save the date in October. I send out an invitation in November, and then the first week of December, we're having Movies with Santa. It's a great event. Here's the thing. Not all my past clients and referral sources come to that event. But guess what? They all got invites from me. They all received touches from me through text, through emails, through postcards in the mail, right? And so I think events are a powerful way not only to get in front of people, face to face with people, but they're also a powerful way to reach out to people. It's a great reason to reach out to people. I mentioned postcards, mail. Mail actually works, you know. People aren't inundated in the mail like they used to be. So you can mail postcards, but even more powerful than a postcard is a personal note. And we just had an event. I sent out a personal note, to 5 or 6 people that were in attendance at this event. And when I sent out those personal notes, you know what was amazing was I got responses to that. People thanked me for sending out a personal note to them. And here's the key to a personal note. Be genuine, all right? I always say I care about people. If you don't care about people and you're in real estate, you're in the wrong business, because this is a people business, a relationship business. We've got to care about people. And so what I would challenge you to do is just be genuine, right? Show that you care about them. Tell them you care about them. Thank them so much. Tell them how grateful you are for them, not just for their business. You can thank them for their business too, but thank them for their friendship. Thank you for trusting you. Thank you for, something that they did. Like, just thank you for reaching out to me last week. You have no idea how it warmed my heart, right? Just kind of like I got from people that had received thank you notes from me. So here's the thing. All of these things, the calls, text, emails, social media, events, postcards, personal notes, you need time to do them. So where are you going to spend your time? Well, there is time in doing some of these. You're going to do calls, texts, emails, personal notes. Schedule an hour every other day just to do that. What I've been doing recently is I go home at the end of the day while Elizabeth's making dinner, right? So that we can have dinner around the dinner table. I go home, I'll take 5 thank you cards with me, and I will write 5 thank you notes. I bring them into the office the next day. My assistant puts them in envelopes for me and gets them mailed off. But I've got that little window that I know that I'm going to get home. I'm going to have 15 minutes before dinner's ready, and I'm going to write a few personal notes. Okay, so when are you going to schedule that time and put it in your calendar? Events are big. Those you're going to put in your calendar. Those are going to take some planning. Here's the next thing, though. So now you know who you're reaching, you know how you're going to reach them, but where are you going to spend your money, okay? This is important, and this goes a little bit outside of the calendar piece, but I think it's important when you're business planning because you need to ask the question and determine where am I going to spend my money next year, okay? And approximately how much am I going to spend? So I encourage people, spend your money on postcards to your sphere of influence. Don't just send a just listed around every listing that you take, because let me tell you, your response on that is going to be so little. But take that that same just listed card and send it out to your sphere of influence when you list it. Send it out when it goes pending to the same sphere of influence, and send it out when it sells to the same sphere of influence, and watch what happens in your business. People are going to be like, wow, you're doing a ton of business right now. Put different pictures on it every time. Even if it's just one listing, let me tell you, that is going to be wildly more effective sending it to people that know you than you sending it out to 300 random people that have no clue who you are, and it's just another listing in the neighborhood. All right? Be very smart with the way you spend your money, and it's not going to cost you much more to do what I'm telling you to do. Send emails of value. That's something you can spend your money on. I spend money on a system called BombBomb. It's a video email system where I send out video emails that are much more engaging than just getting a typed email from me. And so I'll send out a personalized video email. Hey, Jeff, it's Mark. I was just thinking about you today. I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope as we come into this holiday season that your family's blessed. Let me know if you need anything. And that's it. But I'll send that video email. It goes so much further and gets opened 100% of the time when I send those out. All right. I would also spend your money on the handwritten notes. I think that that's valuable. Again, it's through the mail, but man, how many handwritten notes do you get? I can promise you're getting a lot fewer of those. I also think that where you're going to spend your money is on events. But let me tell you, in this business, the nice thing about it is you've got a lot of contacts, whether it's lending, title, contractors, home warranties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And guess they want the business of your clients. And so they're more than happy to sponsor these events and attend the events and help serve at the events. That's the amazing thing is over the years, we've had people attend and serve at our events that are sponsoring just because they want to get in front of our clients too. All right. So you're going to spend some money on it, but also you can get sponsors to help offset it. I've given you a lot of information today, and going back to the main point, because I don't want to veer too far from it, but the thing is whatever you're going to do to be successful this next year, it's got to go on your calendar. If it doesn't go on your calendar today, like you need to start today. I said start your business plan now. Don't wait until January 2nd to start your business plan. You're already too late. Start your business plan now and start putting these things on your calendar now. You want to live your best life and achieve ultimate success. You have to, you got to start doing the things important to your life now, whether it's your spiritually, your family, your education, the things that are going to impact you personally now, you need to be putting those on your calendar. And then the business things that you need to do that do affect you personally as well, you need to actually focus on those things as well. If you do all of this, if you even do part of it, I promise you, you're going to live a much happier, much fuller, much more joyful life. But you just got to take the action and put it on your calendar. We'll see you next week.